Back with us now, Don Koch, a former Iran hostage. He was 24 years old in 1979, a consulate officer when he was taken captive by the militants that ran over the embassy there. Don, 1979 also was the year where we had an ambassador killed, murdered in Afghanistan. Now we have that also happening in 2012 in Benghazi. As you've watched this story in Benghazi unfold, what goes through your mind? What are your thoughts?
It was really very disappointing because one of the first things that I heard was that the security in Benghazi was limited because of considerations for foreign policy. We didn't want it to seem like an armed camp. We wanted to regularize our relationship. And these were the same sorts of things that I heard in Tehran when we were talking about why our security profile was so low-key there. And the reality is that we should have learned the lesson. In most cases, we have. In 99% of our missions overseas, security is provided by the host government, and they provide good and solid, adequate security. In the 1% of cases where they can't, then we have to provide the security on our own. And we do that in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and some other places overseas. And in those places where the government can't provide the security and we can't provide the security, there's no reason to have a mission there. The mission needs to close.
So back to policy then, Don, when you watch what's happening or what had happened in Cairo at our embassy there just recently, in Benghazi at our consulate, at a variety of other embassy locations around the world around September 11th, how do you respond when people ask, is history repeating itself? Is this 1979 all over again?
Well, we saw in Cairo that after a day or two, the Egyptian government absolutely stepped in and provided the kind of security that we needed. So Cairo is a slightly different case. But in Benghazi, we see that the government there is just not capable of providing the security that we needed there. And so you have a tragedy which was, in some senses, avoidable, but also goes beyond the deaths of these four very brave Americans. It really is a foreign policy failure, and so you need to tie the issue of adequate security for the compound for the larger issue of what our foreign policy is and what our foreign policy image is overseas.